All right, let's jump right back into things. If you caught the first part of our journey, you already know the ancient Latin root manus means hand. Well, today in this explainer, we're going to see exactly how that single, incredibly powerful ancient root fuels the words we use to write, build, and create every single day. Every single word we're unpacking today has something to do with what our amazing hands can do.
Look, we're not just going to sit here and memorize a boring list of dictionary definitions today. Instead, we're going to act like detectives and uncover the hidden hands inside our everyday vocabulary. Once you start recognizing exactly how these words are built, it's like a superpower. By the end of this explainer, I guarantee you'll be seeing these ancient roots everywhere.
So let's start with the word I know you use all the time, manual. It combines the root manus with the suffix al. Now, originally, this literally meant relating to the hand, but its modern everyday meaning is just something that is done by hand. It's a literal ancient building block hiding right there in your everyday conversations.
Now, here's a really brilliant question for you to solve. Think about driving for a second. Why exactly is a stick-shift car called a manual transmission? Well, if you think about the definition we literally just talked about, the answer is right in the palm of your hand. It's because the driver has to use their hand to physically shift the gears, rather than the car doing it on its own. The hand is literally doing the work.
And this perfectly highlights the difference between doing something manually and doing it automatically. When you do a task manually, it requires your physical hands and your direct human effort. But when it's done automatically, machines and technology take over all that heavy lifting. Think about tough jobs like picking apples or painting a house. Those require physical, manual effort. It definitely takes a lot more sweat than just pressing a button, doesn't it?
Okay, shifting gears from physical labor over to the magical world of books, we find the word manuscript. Because the suffix script comes from the word for write, this literally translates to written by hand. Try to picture an ancient scroll written super carefully with a feather quill. But today, its modern meaning refers to an author's original written work, even if they typed the whole thing out on a laptop.
Now, let's really dig into this next one, because it's actually pretty wild. We built the word manufacture by combining manus with fecere, which means to make. So literally, it means to make by hand. But what's completely fascinating about this is that originally, absolutely everything was manufactured by hand. Today, though, the meaning has completely flipped. It now means producing products in massive factories using giant machines. The language actually evolved right alongside our technology.
Actually, let's pause for a quick second. Just look around your room right now. What products around you are manufactured? The chair you're sitting on, the computer or phone screen you're using to watch this explainer. Every single one of those comes from modern manufacturing. It's this massive industrial word that still safely holds the ancient ghost of a human hand right inside it.
That brings us to a word with a seriously cool history. Manage. It traveled from the Italian word managere, which originally meant to handle a horse with your hands, all the way into our modern English vocabulary. Today, the meaning has shifted a bit. It means to control, direct, or organize a team or a project. You're still handling things, just, not necessarily with your physical hands. And notice the subtle difference here between managing and controlling. You manage a classroom, a business, or a group project with guidance, organization, and a bit of care. But you control a remote-controlled car or operate a drone directly with buttons and commands. Managing definitely requires a much softer guiding hand. So, when those hardworking hands finally need a break, we get the word manicure. This elegantly snaps together manus for hand and cura for care. So, putting those two puzzle pieces together, it literally translates to care of the hand. In modern times, of course, it specifically refers to the cosmetic treatments of cleaning, shaping, and beautifying their fingernails. All right, time to test those detective skills. Why exactly is a manicure connected to manus while a pedicure is for your feet? Well, it all comes down to those ancient roots. Manus is the hand getting the care in a manicure, while ped is the ancient root for foot, giving us pedicure. Once you understand the roots, language becomes this completely predictable, incredible puzzle. Now, if you've ever tried to awkwardly shove a giant, heavy couch through a tiny doorway, you know exactly what it means to manhandle something. This is just a really fun, informal word that simply combines man and handle. It literally just means to move something roughly, awkwardly, or forcefully by hand. Up next is honestly one of the most interesting hidden relatives in this family, maneuver. This word took quite a journey. It started in Latin, traveled all the way through French, and finally landed in English.
It evolved from originally meaning working with the hands to its modern meaning, which is to carefully steer, move, or control. Think of an airplane making a really tight maneuver in the sky, or steering a bike through heavy traffic.
Okay, let's put it all together now. Look at how these morphological building blocks just snap right together. By breaking down prefixes, roots, and suffixes, you unlock a word's exact DNA. We've got the word, its roots, its suffix, the literal meaning, and the modern meaning. It brilliantly proves that breaking down these ancient pieces unlocks everything you need to know. It makes words like manufacture and manuscript beautifully logical.
You know, it's really fascinating to compare concepts that seem similar, but are actually quite different. For instance, a manuscript is the author's original, unpublished draft, but a book? That's the final, printed, and published copy. Similarly, manufacturing specifically refers to factory assembly with machines, while producing is a much broader term. I mean, you can produce a movie, or you can even just produce vegetables in your backyard garden.
What I absolutely love about the manus fruit is how it literally grows up with you. You start out using everyday words like manage and manual on the playground. Then, as you hit middle school, you start dropping manuscript and management into your essays. And finally, you level all the way up to advanced academic words like manufacturing and manual labor in high school and beyond. Your vocabulary literally matures as you do. Now, if you really want to be a champion speller, here's a pro tip. Use structural patterns to predict your spelling, rather than just blindly guessing. Remember, manu often means hand. Script always means write. Fact comes from make. And what about those endings? Well, suffixes like age, as in manage, change the word into a verb. Meanwhile, meant, like in management, turns the word into a noun. It's like a cheat code for spelling.
All right, let's put those skills to the test right now. Take a quick second and try to mentally define the literal meanings of manual, manuscript, and manufacture. Also, ask yourself, why does manage come from manus? Lock those answers in your head because you absolutely have all the tools you need to solve them.
Let's actually see these words out in the wild, doing real work. For example, she read the instruction manual before assembling the bicycle. Or, the author submitted the final manuscript. How about, the factory will manufacture new bicycles? Or, our coach can manage the team well. The salon offered a relaxing manicure. And finally, the pilot performed a difficult maneuver. These sentences perfectly highlight our target vocabulary in action.
Okay, no looking back at the definitions for this one. It's challenge time. Can you match our manus vocabulary words to their exact meanings? Which one is written by hand? Which one means care for the hand? Which one means to move skillfully? Run through the list in your mind right now and see how many you can get.
So, running through all 7 of our target words today, manual, manuscript, manufacture, manage, manicure, maneuver, and manhandle, it really drives home a crucial point. Great spellers and readers, they don't just memorize random letters. They deeply understand words by uncovering their ancient roots.
I'm going to leave you with one final challenge for the week. I want you to become a true word detective in the wild. Hunt for menace words in instruction manuals, in your school books, or even on product labels around your house. And every single time you find one, ask yourself this one provocative question. What is the hand doing? Keep that curiosity alive. Keep hunting for those hidden roots, and I will see you in the next explainer.